She said it as if testing the air, almost casually. Maybe we should break up. The words hung in the apartment, mixing with the faint smell of coffee and rain outside. No shouting, no tears, just a statement. I froze for a moment, staring at the mug in my hands, absorbing the calm detachment behind her voice. For a second, the world seemed to pause, as if waiting for me to react. I studied her carefully. The way she avoided eye contact, the subtle tension in her shoulders, the distance she kept from me in the living room. Every small gesture felt magnified. Memories replayed in my mind, quiet arguments that never escalated, laughter that had grown routine, touches that once meant intimacy now perfunctory. I didn't respond immediately. I let the silence stretch, letting her words settle into the room like dust. Inside, a storm brewed. Disbelief, hurt, and a flicker of indignation collided. Should I beg? Should I argue? Should I walk away silently? Each impulse surfaced, and each was carefully weighed and restrained. I realized quickly that this wasn't about winning or losing. It was about preserving dignity and seeing clearly. My next action had to be deliberate, not reactive. The opportunity came quietly. "Pack your things," I said. No shout, no accusation, just words spoken with calm precision. The apartment shifted subtly under the weight of these instructions. The control, once assumed to be mutual, was now quietly mine. She blinked, surprised by the lack of drama, by my calmness. Power is strange. It doesn't always roar. Sometimes it rests in deliberate, unemotional action. Her reaction was disbelief, maybe even expectation. She had anticipated tears, shouting, bargaining. Instead, she found herself moving items, bags in hand, adjusting to a reality she hadn't intended to impose. Every suitcase, every folded sweater, every silent step through the hallways marked the new balance of power. I didn't need to fight. She acted, and the shift was complete without spectacle. As she moved, I watched quietly. I questioned my own restraint. Was I being detached, or was this strength? I thought of every moment that had led to this. Shared dinners that felt more like routines than connection. Conversations that were polite but empty. Laughter that no longer reached our eyes. The breakup, sudden though it seemed, was merely the culmination of countless unspoken distances. The apartment became a map of altered routines. Coffee cups on opposite counters. Furniture adjusted for convenience rather than shared intimacy. Notifications on phones went unanswered in tandem. A silent acknowledgement of the new reality. Authority manifested. Through simple action, the quiet enforcement of boundaries, while emotion simmered beneath the surface. There was no melodrama, only recognition and consequence. I spent the day moving through rooms, noticing how absence could be palpable even when physical space remained. I recognized the subtle emotional shifts, the silence in the kitchen, the gaps in conversation, the empty spaces on the sofa that were once shared. Reflection brought clarity. I saw that I had neglected my own needs in favor of maintaining a facade of harmony. The breakup forced a reckoning with myself, my independence, my boundaries, my identity. Even as she packed and left, I didn't gloat. There was no triumph, no satisfaction in seeing her go. What remained was a quiet understanding of self-preservation. Power was not about dominance or punishment. It was about acting decisively, preserving dignity, and acknowledging reality. Emotional clarity emerged not from confrontation, but from the consequences of calm, deliberate choice. The apartment felt quieter, but not empty. The routines that once masked distance were gone, leaving only clarity. I walked through the rooms, acknowledging what had been lost and what I had gained. Awareness, self-respect, and the first steps toward reclaiming my own life. There was no celebration, only quiet observation of change. By evening, I realized that the breakup had revealed more than her decision. It revealed my own capacity for composure and self-reckoning. Emotional ambiguity remained, the future, the possibility of reconciliation, even the lingering pangs of hurt, but the core truth was undeniable. I had acted deliberately, maintained dignity, and set a precedent for the respect I deserved. The real victory was internal, not in forcing her out, not in asserting control, but in navigating a sudden rupture with clarity and restraint. Boundaries had been enforced, emotional reckoning initiated, and self-discovery begun. The breakup was no longer a moment of loss alone. It had become a pivot, a point where reflection, action, and awareness converged. Silence returned to the apartment, different now, quieter, deliberate. I no longer needed words to understand the shift. The consequences of calm, deliberate action resonated in every corner, every empty space, every quiet pause. Life had changed, yes. But the power of measured response and internal clarity remained mine, quietly undeniable.